welcome to another episode of Laying Down the Lore of the Old World, a lore podcast in which we aim to separate our dragons from our dryads, our griffins from our goblins, and our witch elves from our wood elves, and generally ask, what's up with this Warhammer stuff? My name is Ben Barber, and while I used to know pretty much fuck all about Warhammer, I now know very little. With me is my co-host, Christopher Crowlin Allen.
Quiet voices today, please, Ben. Quiet voices.
Who, despite years of valiant effort, still knows next to nothing.
Shh.
And my dear brother Darren.
Are you alright, Kral?
Oh my god.
Who knows so much about Warhammer it's frankly disturbing. After an abysmal attempt at playing Vermintide many moons ago, this dichotomy between our levels of understanding became clear, and this series is an attempt to address that ignorance. Happy New Year, everyone.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Sigh.
I could see the cogs in the back of the head moving as they were trying to calculate whether that was a relevant statement or not.
No, is this the first or second release in January? No, it's the second.
I think it's
or
the
first.
First.
Yeah.
I think it's the first. Yeah, I think it's
Happy January, everyone. Nailed it.
Happy January.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Kral, have you a head on you today? Are you feeling a bit tender?
Got someone's head somewhere in me, on me.
It's a wild night.
Around me.
Through me, around me, of me. What?
Under me.
I hosted a few drinks for a neighbour to celebrate. He's a new father, young new father. So congratulations to it. Also called Ben. So well done to him. He got summoned back home by his baby's mama from his own party because the baby was playing up. So halfway through his own party, he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go."
I love that you threw the father a party and not them both.
Well, you only throw parties for people. You've told me that before, Ben.
Oh, that is slander or libel. I'm not sure, but it's one of them.
Olivia has had a baby shower already, and because she had a baby shower, Ben was like, "Don't I get a little party?" And so we thought, we better throw him a little party. Hence yesterday's antics.
Congratulations on your functioning testicles.
Yeah, there you go. You virile son of a gun.
Yep.
Now, welcome to the rest of your life.
Nope. Kiss it goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to see Hamilton the other day, and I was thinking about whether you could do.
And you got someone pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Could you do a Warhammer musical? Has anyone tried?
Yes. Well, you could. You could do a musical about anything.
Wow.
Mate.
Okay.
We're going to chat GPT that, and let's make a few musical verses. No, we won't do that because, no.
Did we? I have a memory of seeing a musical in London with the family. Was it about the Hulk? No, it couldn't have been about the Hulk. Oh, it was Back to the Future.
I mean, the crossovers are innumerable. An easy mistake to make. Yeah,
I was talking about Hanukkah, Ben. What were you talking about? Fascist.
Oh, right. Kral, I would like the first two opening verses of a Warhammer musical a la ChatGPT for next episode, please.
Let me put it in my list of Ben's wishes that I've got in front of me.
That I will file under B for Ben.
1,293,644. Ben would like.
Ben would like something else from me. Yada, yada, yada.
You ever notice, Chris, that all his ideas are like, they sound great, but it's always someone else that has to do the legwork.
Yeah. Chris, take a note.
I think we should do this, and by we, I mean you.
Yeah. Ingenious, though, really, if you think about it. Like get all the credit with none of the work.
Follow him around with a pen and notepad. Chris, take a note.
Anyway, enough of this shit. Kral, you know what time is.
Hello, Reichland. It's time for Zharr's recap.
Come on, high energy crowd. Let's get it going.
Yeah, man. Well, I've just kind of remembered we did that amazing one-shot RPG, so my spirits are being lifted. I've been dreaming of the RPG ever since we did it. Better bring up my
of
notes,
all the
haven't I? Hold
Leroy
on a sec.
Jenkins moments that you.
Oh fucking hell! I rolled my way through that fucking campaign.
Yeah.
Keep rolling.
What's that? Can we kill it? Attack
it! If it bleeds, it dies.
I particularly enjoyed how quickly you died.
Yeah.
At the start.
And we will potentially cut that out once we've finished.
Maybe. Yeah. Action without consequence. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Just like parenting. What?
What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, you can smoke, Sam. Was it a create your own adventure? Is that what you call it? Create your own adventure.
Path to victory.
Choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure. Yeah.
Was that the name of the genre, or was that the?
Yeah.
Is it like one of those Hoover vacuum sort of arrangements where the first person that did it called it Choose Your Own Adventure, and that was just the name that was then assigned to the genre?
Choose Your Own Adventure.
I don't know that. I don't believe it is a brand, but for this conversation, yes, it is a brand.
Okay, great.
Yes, but no, but yes, got it. Yeah,
they were sort of, I believe, and I'm sure I'll be corrected by fucking people on the internet because they can't help themselves. I believe it was the fighting fantasy books that started out the Choose Your Own Adventure. You know, Warlock of Firetop Mountain. It's quite a famous one.
Oh yeah.
I'm not too acquainted with the series. I know the format, and
the format.
There's loads of different ones, aren't there? Like, I know them as like Bandersnatch type.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Fantasy.
Books, where you kind of go, if that, then go to page yada yada yada, and you're dead. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was a couple of moments of that in our campaign, but just to summarize what we did, it was the Beneath the City of the White Wolf, which saw us playing the role of a Empire Knight. Is that right? What's his name?
Yeah,
a
Knight Panther.
Absalom Cross. Absalom Cross. Absolute Crowl. That's the one. Yeah, exactly. Knight Panther.
Fuming, I was Absalom
Panther.
Cross. Yeah.
Oh, Absalom Crowl. And we fucking railroaded our way through. Was it Middenheim?
Yes.
Went through. Was that the place? Yeah. Okay.
We started out in the Drackwald forest, surrounding.
Yeah. Classic good versus evil tale. Good old, there is something afoot. Chaos and evil is about to be unleashed. Save the world, Absalom Crowl. So, Crowl. My favorite part of it was fucking pistol whipping that musician. And the world ended because of that apparently, but then we got a mulligan. Darren was like, you can have a let.
It was such a kind of disconnected end though, wasn't it? It's like we attacked the fiddler and then we went back to our room and then we just looked out the window and
reality
the city
fell
collapsed.
apart.
It's like I wonder if in that moment he was like, shit, I shouldn't have hit that fiddler. That's all my fault.
Yeah, I mean, putting
it's the butterfly
in that
effect.
position, I wouldn't have linked me as like, well, if I can just backhanded the fiddler, of course this is what the result is.
This is exactly
right.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah.
Karma.
Yeah. So but we completed it. We saved the fucking day, didn't we? We encountered the Greyseer. It wasn't Greyseer Thanquol, was it? It was a Greyseer.
No,
we were Skaven Greyseer.
It was a Greyseer.
We got some fat fucking loot. We laughed, we cried. It was great. We rolled some ones, we rolled some sixes.
Yeah.
You know?
And there was a mystical dwarf with a magical weapon.
That was probably one of the funnest weekends I've had, and it was an absolute treat. So thank you, Darren.
Oh, great.
We just RPG'd our asses off all weekend, which is my kind of weekend. Great. So
honestly, Kral, I've known you for years. It's the most decisive I've ever seen you. If only life was that easy, that the right answer was always just attack that thing.
Violence.
Violence. For some people it is, but it doesn't work out well.
And but the point of it was obviously we want to have a bit of fun, but also just to expose us to basically this kind of niche choose your own adventure part of Warhammer, because there's only a limited run of these books, right?
There was 4 books made,
Yeah, okay.
But also to expose me to RPGs as a whole. Like, I know it's a very limited version of it, but I'd never.
That was your first
RPG
experience, wasn't it?
I read some of those choose your own adventure books when I was a kid. Like I remember the Firetop Mountain and like Death Trap Dungeon, I think it was called.
Yeah.
So, like,
but you just read them front to back,
familiar.
and you complained it made no sense to you. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Don't understand this.
So I don't. Yeah, because I think in those ones there was no rolling or anything. It was literally you just choose. There was no dice involved, from what I remember. I might be wrong.
There absolutely was a dice involved. Yeah.
That's it. Well, I read them wrong. There you go. So that was my first proper RPG experience, and I fucking loved it. And that's given me the thirst. I want to do like a full scale one.
Well, that I did a bit of research after, and that Beneath the City, the White Wolf, there's 3 different paths through it, and you face 3 different factions that are responsible for the issues. So we could play it again and choose, instead of going through the graveyard, we could go via the dwarves.
Yeah.
Or the other one that I've forgotten.
I'm sure Crow would just pick exactly the same options.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just rolled in a different kind of theme. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe this Christmas we'll do the other 2, just to, assuming we're still talking to each other. Yeah.
Maybe.
So that was that, and what else do you want to know?
And then this is
what else do you want from me? What do you need? How can I serve you?
Can I lie down? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm hungover. I'm tired. That took all my energy. Yeah, my enthusiasm's spent.
As far as WhatsApp recaps go, it was one of your best.
It was certainly one of them.
Yeah, it was one of them, and you did it with a hangover. So
I got my heart rate going.
Color me impressed.
I got my fucking heart rate going now. Just like,
yeah, you can stand down now. Dar, before he falls over, please take it away.
Yeah.
Right. So, given that we had done a Christmas special, the last episode, which we've just recapped, I thought we'd just have a quick Dar recap of what we did in the last Chaos Dwarf episode, so we know where we're picking up from. So, last episode, we picked up the theme of the history of the Chaos Dwarves post the Black Orc Rebellion. So we had a look at them rebuilding after the kind of revolt by the Black Orcs. And through that, the realization that their thin numbers were a problem, as in the Chaos Dwarfs were a problem. And so they started alliances with the hobgoblins and the ogres. And this was ticking over for a while. And then they had 2 kind of catastrophic events. Catastrophics. They had do you remember the Black Plague swept through their civilizations, brought over the World's Edge Mountains by the trade caravans, and we had the Night of the Restless Dead, where all of the dead raised up and attacked living people nearby them. And that was a problem for the Chaos Dwarves because they had massive open kind of mass graves of their slaves. And so that's where they started to basically dispose of dead slaves, either through trade with the ogres or put them into pits of acid or magma to dissolve whatever the physical remains there were. We then touched on the storm of Mr. Chris.
When raising the dead, how much of the body or cadaver do you need? Could you just have pure bones, the skeletal bones, and it could still be raised? Or do you need some sort of
and those are called skeletons. Yes.
Oh. They're called skeletons, Ben. Okay.
Skeletons, you say?
Because, for example, you could like burn the remains or something, but you might still be left with some, if not all, of the skeleton, and could that still potentially be raised as undead? At which points are you kind of like, okay, we're safe from it being re-raised, reanimated now?
I think once you've destroyed the physical remains, so what we're talking about really there is, even the teeth, because teeth demons are a real thing in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, let's steer back to the old Dwarfs. We then had a look at the devastating Khornate army siege of the Chaos Dwarves. which again thinned their numbers even further. And due to their already thinned numbers, they really kind of hunkered down. That's an excellent summary, Darren. We then also had a look at
he said modestly
the Tainted, who were, if you recall, the Chaos Warped dwarves rather than Chaos Dwarves, whose clan-based cultures kind of plague the areas around the northern peaks of the World's Edge Mountains and Kislev and the north of Empire. And that was really Alfred Nunes Jr., the writer of the proposed Chaos Dwarf RPG supplement, shoehorning in quite elegantly, I thought, the original Chaos Warrior dwarves of kind of Warhammer products in the mid to late 80s, so that they could exist in tandem with the Mesopotamian Chaos Dwarves. And then we closed out the episode with having a look at the state of the dwarves, the Chaos Dwarves and the Darkland. And so they are critically depopulated, relying on slavery to really sustain their industry and their religious practices, while also allowing them to be freed up enough to go on more slaving raids and kind of trying to keep their alliances with the hobgoblins and the ogres going. The kind of dwindling supplies of slaves because of the lack of the Chaos Dwarves who run the slave raids, and their kind of more fractious relations with the Greenskins, certainly in the aftermath of the battle that never happened, the Storm of Chaos, has left the Chaos Dwarves with an uncertain and frankly quite perilous future. And so that's where we left it, and that's where we shall pick up now, because we are going to talk about Chaos Dwarf society in and around Zharr-Naggrund, which, if you'll recall, if we do our hand map, it's the top of the thumb.
Dorito, please, Dorito.
Fuck your Doritos. Hand map.
Yeah, hand map.
So there's
not enough distinguishing features of a Dorito, Krell. It's on one of the faces.
It looks nothing like a fucking hand.
As you look at a Dorito, it's halfway up the right slope. Is where the if you've got the one of the corners of the Dorito pointing up.
Got you. So it's an isosceles triangle, isn't it? So there's no hypotenuse as such. There's no single long edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
tricky.
Yep,
tricky.
Yeah, unlike a hand. Crow.
Okay, use the hand analogy. Okay, yeah.
I haven't had a single long edge in years. Anyway, so Zharr-Naggrund is the kind of great capital city of the Dwarven Empire. We're just going to quickly whip through a recap because we talked about this, I think, in the first or second episode of the Chaos Dwarves. And really, it is surrounded by the plains of Zarduk, which is just covered in mines and foundries and workshops, fortresses, and slave pens, most importantly. And so all power and purpose of the Chaos Dwarf Empire flows directly towards this kind of titanic city, which at its heart has this enormous obsidian ziggurat dedicated to the empire of the Chaos Dwarves and their god, Hashut. You're welcome.
We're talking about Zharr-Naggrund, yeah? The main the main city. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
The one on the right-hand side of the Dorito or burrito.
Let's just look. I'll yield.
You've thrown
Use the hand analogy, but like you're going to have to just explain it. Just explain it once to me now, and I'll remember it. So, as I'm looking
if you're looking at your right hand,
you've got the Badlands on the east. And then you've got like the Empire and stuff on the left and north. As I'm looking at it, this is going to be weird because my left is your right. But yeah.
No, look at your own hand, Kral. Don't hold it up to the camera. Look at your own hand.
Yeah. Now move your hand really quickly towards your face. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And stop annoying us. Zharr-Naggrund is basically where the tip of your thumb is.
Zharr-Naggrund is the tip of my thumb. Okay. All right. So Zharr-Naggrund is there.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, as you're looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
The the like, is it, what's the Tower of Nargath? That's kind of right in the palm. The Plane of Bones is kind of like near the wrist down here. Okay.
Yeah. He's got it. I thought you were going to be like, look, we'll use the hand map, but on one condition, I can have some Doritos.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll compromise, all right? Let's use the elbow. Okay? Let's use the fucking elbow. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Dipped in
I'm on board with the hand map analogy. Okay. I will shut the fuck up.
So the city of Zharr-Naggrund, he said, moving on, if you recall, has got 4 great gates. The north and south gates are where the River of Ruin flows through, and the east and west gates are for trade with the east and west. So the ogres in the Mountains of Morn and the greenskins and hobgoblins and whatever else from the, east, I suppose. No, west. Oh, directions.
The other west.
The other west, yeah. As we said, it's a city that contains tens of thousands of furnaces smelting all kinds of ores, and is the very kind of lifeblood of the Chaos Dwarf Empire. It is kind of cloaked in banks of kind of semi-toxic smoke and fog, or smog. The sounds of kind of roaring furnaces and the deafening clangs of hammers are always on the go. And it seems to be lit almost internally, like it has an internal kind of fiery glow from the fires that are internal in the glow. What? Huge steam hammers are constantly pounding, and the kind of rhythmic force of it is akin to Hashut himself stamping his hooves across the plains of Zarduk. There's huge cauldrons of boiling metals being poured into relatively intricate molds constantly, and the air almost vibrates not only with noise but with heat. And below all of that is the screams and cries of the slaves under the lash as they operate all of these machines. Mr. Chris.
It's a very good description. I can almost smell the air in the area. It's got that kind of metally, someone open a fucking window. I got my car looked at the other week, and I went to like some gearbox specialist, and there was just like metal and oil everywhere, and it's just had that really metal and oil smell. And I imagine that's exactly times 10. A million
hydrocarbons. That's what it smells of. An engineering workshop, but with slaves crying in the corner.
But also dead bodies, or is this post keeping our dead in big piles? Are they now burning them?
There will be dead bodies, but they will be in carts being carted off to pits of lava, magma, or corrosive acids or alkalis to be able to dispose of them. Or, if you'll recall, they're used as currency with the ogre kingdoms, because the ogres find kind of dead, rancid flesh to be a delicacy.
Can you imagine the size of the wallets?
Made out of the dead.
Yeah.
Controversial. Could the Chaos Dwarves have eaten their slaves?
Yes, I suppose they could. Hashut is the sort of, as we've discussed, he's the god of domination and tyranny, as well as fire and industry. So consuming the weakness or the weakest of your opponents could be seen as a religious act. I mean, that's how I've always practiced it. What? Moving on. We talked here about all of the forges and workshops that are dotted around that cover not only Zharr-Naggrund but the plains of Zarduk as well. So the Chaos Dwarves are master craftsmen, very similar in vein to dwarven smiths, but it's really kind of dotted around the entire culture. So they're a great appreciative they're great aficionados of smithing, and in conjunction with the large kind of industrial forges, they produce endless streams of armor and weapons as their stock trade, if you'll recall, with the greenskin tribes of the World's Edge Mountains that they're trading with, also their hobgoblin allies, also the ogre allies, but also sending huge caravans of armor and weapon north into the Chaos Waste to equip the warriors of Chaos and the tribes, the Marauder tribes in the north. Not only that, but they also, as we've discussed, use or create engines of destruction. And so we will talk about them perhaps next episode or in a few episodes' time. And we'll talk about the kind of the demon-fueled occult engineering. Well, we'll do that this episode. Mr. Ben.
Similar question to one asked during the dwarf episodes, I believe, when we were talking about the dwarfs providing armor and arms to the humans. If the Chaos Dwarves are providing weapons to the Chaos Warriors, do they have to get a couple of them in to get their proportions right? Do they have to kind of do a sizing?
Yeah, I suspect they do. Yeah, is the short answer.
Because
maybe there's an embassy. There's an embassy of each of the Chaos gods who send out ambassadors and agents, I suppose.
Representatives.
Representatives.
Yes.
You've been selected to represent Chaos at our factory facility down in the Darga. Do I have to? Yes, you are of average proportion. You must go.
Yeah. These swords are far too short. They need to be at least yay big.
Those are knives, Mr. Kurgan.
Please step out of the kitchen.
So they trade these with the guys in the north and with the Ogre Kingdoms for, as I say, slaves, for rare metals found influenced by the forces of chaos and other influences in the world, for gemstones and for rare kind of ingredients for magical and sorcerous experiments. And so it's through this trade that the tyranny and bloodshed associated with the Chaos Dwarves is spread out by proxy and also by, carts across the known world, enriching the Chaos Dwarves while sowing destruction and tyranny in Hashut's name. So their trade in the materials of domination are again a form of prayer and worship to their divine master. As these trades are being carried out, it is of course helping them extend their influence, gather intelligence, which will allow them to either trade more or to capture more, beings, and advance their kind of dreams of the utter domination of the world in Hashut's name. Their greatest creations as kind of pre-end times were the Hell-forged engines. So these are, you will call the Death Shrieker rockets, the, Iron Demon kind of possessed traction engine. Most of the more powerful machines, weapons, armor are kept for themselves, and it forms their kind of foundation of their true personal power, which will allow a Chaos Dwarf warrior to go toe-to-toe with any other warrior within the Warhammer setting, and thus give them a fair, in quotes, chance at dominating an enemy when they come across them. Probably literally, I don't know. With this kind of specialization in all of the skills of evil blacksmithery, it results in individual Chaos Dwarves. Even the lowliest warrior is equipped to an extraordinarily high standard. And it will be unusual for an individual Chaos Dwarf not to have at least one magical item, even as, a basic magical weapon or, a armor that
Trinket.
Makes them... Yeah, that kind of idea. A talisman
magical
of
ring
such.
gives them +1 AC or something.
Yeah, so they are routinely equipped with kind of
magical dice, roll crits all the time.
Massively crafted axes, stabbed blades, probably knives, probably swords, and barbed war picks, all wielded by a Chaos Dwarf who's wearing kind of heavy scale armor of rune-hardened metal, which gives them an increased save, along with enormously tall helmets and kind of heavy tower/rounded shields. Mr. Ben.
Talk me through a barbed war pick.
It's a war pick, so it's like a pickaxe with spikes on it.
Right. Are the spikes on the they're not on the handle?
Yeah.
They're on the metal bit, are they?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's actually a lot more simple when you describe it.
They're barbed.
Yeah. It is.
It's barbed. Yeah. Does that make it harder to get out once it's in someone?
Well, you say potato.
It's basically the weapon version of a cat penis. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
What? What the fuck?
You know, they're barbed, Kral. There's a conversation we'll have about the birds and the bees sometime.
No. This is not a conversation we're having. This is an intervention we're having for you. Why do you know so much about cat penises?
Yeah.
I
have access to Google. I mean,
Pause
I'm
the
curious.
podcast. Ben, discuss.
Let's talk. Anyway, moving on.
When you talk about cat penises, I feel,
Barbed.
Okay, barbed war pick. There we go. Okay.
So the kind of most iconic weaponry that's associated with Chaos Dwarves and thus Chaos Dwarf miniatures are large, wide-bladed axes, two-handed axes usually, and something called the blunderbuss, which is it's a blunderbuss. You know, I'm not going to explain. You can go and suck eggs. It's effectively a shotgun that's with a flared barrel, and it fires devastating volleys at short range. And in the 4th edition, you didn't really roll to hit. You measured the frontage of the Chaos Dwarves that had the blunderbusses, and you went out 12 inches or 6 inches, and whatever was within that area was hit and had to roll to wound.
Wow.
So it was just, it was fun. It was like an angry metal flamethrower.
Does the lore say anything about what the blunderbuss ammo is? Because isn't it true in the real world you can actually put lots of different types of things in a blunderbuss?
Yes, you can load it with anything. Even other guns. Yeah.
It's a gun-firing blunderbuss gun.
Hand me my pistol blunderbuss. Is that a blunderbuss in the shape of a pistol? No.
Because those old-time weapons were basically just like very small cannons, and they just had a fuse with an explosive charge, and so you could literally put anything you want in it, right? And it would just
exactly right. Yeah.
Kids' toys. Just kill somebody with dolls.
Whatever you can fit in there, we'll fire it out.
And so the weaponry used, the personal weaponry used by the Chaos Dwarves really are designed to counter the kind of vast horde-like enemies of orcs and goblins, being able to, well, certainly with the blunderbuss, annihilate whole units as they are charging towards the Chaos Dwarves. We're now going to make reference to our second unofficially official unreleased Games Workshop document supplied by the wonderful people over at Chaos Dwarf Online. So we based our history episodes off of an unreleased 2nd edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay text. What we're going to do now is have a look at Thomas Pieranin's 5th edition kind of play test document for Chaos Dwarves. So he is a masterful games designer and certainly invented one of my favorite games, Mordheim, way back when, and really brought a kind of dark Northern European sensibility to some of the aspects and races within the Old World, which really are really flavorful. And certainly anyone who's a fan of Warhammer should go and check out his work. In this document, I'm going to just draw a few of the units from it, because what it really does is it fills gaps within the lore of the Chaos Dwarves, certainly from 4th edition, and certainly even from the 2nd edition fantasy roleplay document that we had a look at over the course of a few episodes. There's 2 or 3 units I want to talk about, and 2 of them relate to the concept of engineering and slavery within the Chaos Dwarf Empire. Thomas's text introduced the concept of houses within the Chaos Dwarf Empire. Like House Atreides and House Harkonnen in Dune.
Like guilds.
It's that. Yes, well, not guilds, but the Chaos Dwarf versions of clans, of the dwarven clans of the World's Edge Mountains. So we'll just leap in. So there is the Chaos Dwarf Alchemagi, not the kind of alchemagi that Chris was up to last night. That's alcohol magic.
Sounds like a fucking Pokemon.
Yeah, alchemagi. Alchemagi.
Sounds like a cleaning product.
So alchemagi are the kind of sorcerer scientists of House Cash, and hold a position of great respect within Chaos Dwarf society, as they're really the engineers of the Chaos Dwarf culture. They're held in great esteem as scientists and innovators, and their kind of twisted creations, twisted inventions, and war machines form the kind of crucial pillar of Chaos Dwarf, or a crucial pillar within Chaos Dwarf culture. So the large steam-powered engines, the bombards, the Death Shrieker rockets, those kinds of things in this kind of document are inventions of the Alchemagi. And in the game, they were treated much like a dwarven engineer. So you could assign them to batteries of war machines. So you get increased chances to hit, make the weapons a bit tougher, that kind of thing. So, as I say, they use bombards, Earthshaker cannons, which is the big, huge main kind of devastator cannon of the Chaos Dwarves. They are also the ones who do eugenics on their slaves. So it was an alchemagi, or a group of alchemagi, who came up with the Black Orcs. So these are the ones that do the biological experimentation on the kind of slave stock to get hardier or more compliant slaves. Of course, these creatures are seen as hugely expendable assets, and they demonstrate the Alchemagi's mastery not only of sorcery, but the kind of grotesque biological manipulation. And within the rule set associated with the Alchemagi, you could actually have a unit or 2 of experimental greenskins in your army. So they would have a randomness to their abilities. So they could be fearless, or they could be really strong but stupid, or. And so you would roll that each turn. But I thought that was quite a neat little class of Chaos Dwarf sorcerer, in quotes, that covered some of the gaps in the lore. We mentioned there Chaos Dwarf slavery. Just to recap, Chaos Dwarfs regard all non-Chaos Dwarves as resources or sacrifices to Hashut. Zharr-Naggrund itself was built by slaves, and they power the vast forges, and the Chaos Dwarf Empire is in a constant state of hunger for the kind of fresh bodies to work the equipment and the mines to get resources into the city. They are captured either through kind of barter with the ogre kingdoms or greenskin tribes or the forces of chaos, or the Chaos Dwarves themselves lead campaigns to raid other settlements and caravans that are traveling along the Silk Road or the Silver Road. These actions of slaving often have knock-on impacts into other areas of the planet of Warhammer, as if you're capturing half an army, you suddenly have a lot fewer people to, work the jobs in the country that you're from. So it can have a devastating impact on agriculture, which then has a knock-on impact to the human or dwarf cultures that they raid, together with the greenskin cultures, of course. Slaves, then, if we talk about another house within the Chaos Dwarf Empire, House Ashodar, they field quite relatively few warriors within the armies of the Chaos Dwarves, but they're perhaps the ones they do field are the most feared because they're named, their regiments are just called enslavers. And so their obsession is to capture the greatest number of slaves possible in any situation. So they are obsessed. House Ashodar is obsessed with maintaining dominance over the slave trade throughout the empire, and certainly throughout Zharr-Naggrund. So they are like the slaving guild, I suppose you could frame it, within the empire of the Chaos Dwarves. They were, again, drawing from this 5th edition playtest rule set, the units of enslavers are equipped with heavy chains to be able to catch people or catch beings, restrain them, and then drag them back to the fires of Zharr-Naggrund. They also had quite large curved scimitars, which they used to hamstring their opponents, ensuring that they can be captured alive at the end of the battle. Because if you can't stand, you can't fight. And if you're crawling on the ground with bleeding legs, you're probably going to be caught, healed up a little, and then dragged back to the forges. Mr. Chris?
You fuck someone's leg up, they're not going to be much of an effective slave, though, either, right? You want a damage limitation. You just want to sprain their ankle. They need to recover from it.
Yeah, dead leg.
Yeah. Dead leg.
A boo-boo. Scrape knees.
A boo.
You know what I mean? You fucking hack half the ham off. It's not that they ain't going to be lifting.
Yeah.
Is that what hamstringing is? You cut off half
your
the
hamstrings, the back of your knees, yeah.
Yeah, so what, are they cutting the fucking hamstring?
Yeah.
Wow. Does that heal? Yeah. Can you reattach that?
Yeah, probably with giant spikes, yeah.
Yeah. Or
barbs.
Magic, which is really the answer to a lot of the...
to a lot of issues, yeah. So in terms of once you've been captured, what happens to you? So, for instance, elves, if any elves are captured, are really... once they are no longer physically useful, they're rendered down for alchemical materials to use in sorcerous experiments, together with kind of large chaos beasts that have lived out their usefulness to the empire.
They become ingredients.
Yeah, effectively. Become a smorgasbord
like rhino
of ingredients.
Horn and tiger bone and stuff.
All right, we don't need to list everything you've fucking tried, Chris.
Stuff I've stuck up my bum. Book.
Last night, yeah.
New Lavariel Intensive Moisturizing Balm. Created especially for spellcasting dwarves with the driest skin and toughest magic-induced petrification. Made with rune-activated basalt butter, volcanic tallow, and essence of shattered idol. Lavariel's new intensive moisturizing balm seeps deep between rocky layers, exfoliates flaking shale, and restores cliff wall-looking skin, leaving you feeling smooth, smouldering, and only moderately cursed. Users say they feel less doomed somehow after just 1 week. Try new intensive moisturizing balm by Lavariel and join the stone skincare revolution. Lavariel, because you're not worthy.
The most common type of slave in the Darklands are greenskins, goblins and orcs. Obviously native to the Darklands and quite fast breeding in mushroom pods. They're quite a good renewable resource quite green, actually, ironically.
Very umami.
And are resistant to the kind of toxic conditions under which slaves have to live within the forges and factories of Zharr-Naggrund. Mr. Chris?
I can imagine greenskins inherently make quite good slaves, because even in their natural culture and society, it's all about domination anyway. Might is right and the strongest. So it can't be too different in that sense, in terms of hierarchy, when they get slaved, albeit they, rather than just go and pillage and fight, they're just making stuff and being forced to tow stuff around or whatever. I don't know. Maybe there are probably not legions, but squads of slave units as well, don't they? Do they just kind of stick a sword in an orc's hand and go, right, fucking charge?
That direction.
So both in the tabletop game, yes, you certainly can do that, and also in the kind of media that shows you the most about Chaos Dwarves is Total War Warhammer. I think it's Total War Warhammer 3, where you have access to a load of options that don't exist in the tabletop game. And we'll talk about one of them shortly, yeah.
Is that considered canon? If it's
yes. Yeah.
It is. Because it was green-lighted by Games Workshop.
Yes, because every aspect of the story is green-lighted by Games Workshop.
Interesting.
Because they for whatever people can say about how defensive they are about their IP, they're consistent about the IP. So you can't introduce a new concept into Total War Warhammer, into any computer game that hasn't been signed off by their kind of story department.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. We mentioned other slaves in other episodes. So humans are quite adaptable and quick thinking, quite nimble, less durable than greenskins, and more unpredictable. So not ideal, but useful. Ogres are valued for their raw strength and toughness, and are always considered to be dangerous, as they're too stupid to realize when their options are completely exhausted. So they're never broken, if you see what I mean, as beings. Skaven are almost never kept alive, too devious, too treacherous, and potentially, either assassins or plague bearers. Exactly right, yeah.
Too much of a fire hazard. They're very flammable.
The exception to all of this are the hobgoblins, but we'll talk about hobgoblins in more depth, I think, in 2 episodes' time. The darkest fate is reserved for non-Chaos dwarves. So the Western dwarves, shall we call them. The kind of millennia of hatred and malice and this sense of betrayal that we talked about in the first few episodes have built to an almost unique sadistic cruelty that's quite deliberate, and the depths of it are quite rare within Warhammer, which itself is quite cruel normally. Captured dwarves are the most prized in terms of slaves, and kind of great renown can be brought to any Chaos Dwarf who brings a dwarf slave back with them. They are served as offerings not to Hashut, but against the ancestor gods of the Chaos Dwarves. So they're sacrificed to spite other gods rather than to worship as a form of prayer to Hashut, even though they exist as a sort of form of prayer, that kind of sense of domination.
Sounds like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing.
Exactly
we can piss someone off and appease another.
It's like a weaponized ritual, isn't it? A weaponized sacrifice.
Against another race's kind of gods, which I think it sums up the Chaos Dwarves almost completely as to their attitudes to their own kind. So we've said Chaos Dwarves are like the 2%, 3% of their empire. The rest are slaves. And so they are constantly training and drilling any Chaos Dwarf to be able to defend the entire empire at once. And so, again, from this 5th edition supplement, we have a group of warriors from House Hargan called the Immortals. And these are the elite of the elite. They're handpicked warriors from the bulk of the house, and are revered as being the best of the best across the empire of the Chaos Dwarfs. Thousands of these immortal, which is just their name, the immortal warriors of House Hargan, fight as a single kind of unified regiment. So they're like a massive war band of well-drilled, well-armed and armored Chaos Dwarves. And to be selected to join their ranks for those within House Hargan is an honor that every member of House Hargan aspires to. And it's really only those who perform exceptional acts of kind of battlefield prowess and cruelty can join their ranks. The regiment tends to operate around about 1,000 warriors at any given time, and casualties are immediately replenished by the house after each battle. And so this constant full strength is the source of their Immortals name, because they are never effectively eroded or defeated or killed.
Right. Okay.
Of special note is every Chaos Dwarf who has served in the Immortals has their name carved onto a huge obsidian pillar in the Temple of Hashut itself, so that their name lives forever and they kind of gain favor in Hashut's eyes. Now, this unit never made it to the tabletop and exists only in this piece of kind of strange, out of the way lore from Thomas's playtest rules. But they do appear in the Total War Warhammer. So this gives you insight, Ben, into your question about this kind of concept existed already in the back rooms of Games Workshop's games development. So when it came time for the faction to appear in the computer game, they drew from existing sources.
Right. And would it be fair to expect that they may eventually become a unit on the tabletop?
Yes, I think that's perfectly fair to accept that. Given the popularity of the Old World game at the moment, it's entirely possible we're going to start seeing some of the races that are not included currently roll into the game line. I have managed to get a picture. I've blown it up a bit, so it's a bit artifacty, but it's a picture from the Total War Warhammer game of what an immortal looks like. So you see a masked Chaos Dwarf with twin kind of glowing magical axes. And so a regiment of that running right at you. And this anonymity provided by the masks is part of the initiation ritual, but it's also part of the Immortals title, because you can never pick out an individual, if you see what I mean, other than a command group, perhaps. But it allows them
from the
to...
voice.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you!
Old lispy Richard. How did you know it was me? Well, it was something they gave away, Rick. Thuffering Thuckatath.
So with the kind of sources that have been provided to us, we're able to see kind of really what day-to-day life, or we can extract from that what day-to-day life is in Zharr-Naggrund, and the role the Chaos Dwarves themselves play in managing their own kind of largish empire through proxies like their hobgoblin allies, but also through direct domination over slaves and over armies. And we'll talk next episode about what happens when that goes wrong, when the Chaos Dwarves misbehave within their own culture. But I thought we'd close out this episode with a look at the Chaos Sorcerers. So we talked about...
These are the guys that will ultimately turn to stone, right?
Yes. So
Poor buggers.
When we looked at their history, we said that there was a runesmith called Grimdalf who opened up the kind of portal and released Hashut back into the corporeal world, and that Hashut blessed those Chaos Dwarves who survived his assaults after being free, but also pledged their allegiance to them. And for the first time in history amongst the dwarven race, you had true magic users begin to emerge from their line. These Chaos Dwarf sorcerers have absolute authority, serving both as a kind of magical elite priesthood of Hashut, but also as the de facto rulers of the Chaos Dwarf Empire. So it's not explicitly said in any of the official or unofficially official documentation, but you can imagine that each house is pledged to a specific sorcerer priest. So we talked previously about sorcerer-prophets, who are the great and the good, the actual leaders of the Chaos Dwarf Empire. Technically now, all Chaos Dwarves are, or all Chaos Dwarf magic users are referred to as Daemonsmiths, and it's from this group of a few hundred. In fact, there are only a few hundred that exist within or across the entire race. That the greatest of them, the most talented, or the most stubborn and domineering, becomes this then sorcerer prophet. So it's a group of priests from whom high priests are elected or extracted to become leaders of settlements. They wield a brutal kind of fusion of science and chaos sorcery. So we start seeing the Alchemagi themes being dragged into the Daemonsmiths that make them kind of quite deadly in combat and in support of other units. And while they do lack a kind of formal hierarchy or a supreme, like there's no single king of the entire Chaos Dwarves, like there's the High King for the Dwarven culture. Their kind of priestly brotherhood is just layers of debts and fealty and traditions and kind of cutthroat internal politics within their own kind of priestlyhood, and of course then the leaders of the other or the other kind of generals and lords of the Chaos Dwarves. Mr. Ben.
Is it a little bit like the Council of 13 in that there's a kind of like 12 equals and then the Horned Rat? So in this instance, like they're all equals and then there's Hashut because he's an interventionist god, isn't he?
Yes, it's that kind of idea, but the Daemonsmiths, some are more equal than others, shall we say. Some are more gifted than others. Where
more
the Council
equal than others.
Yeah.
I'm equalier than you. Equal to... Sorry, my hungover brain can't compute that. Go on.
Yeah. So where the Council of 13 is a political institution designed to stop the Skaven devouring themselves. Remember, it was implemented by the Horned Rat himself. The Daemonsmiths, the magic users of the Chaos Dwarves, really this is what it turned into. So it happened by way of just who could be the most tyrannical, who can be the most domineering. And that eventually became the high kind of sorcerer prophets of the empire rather than just simple magic users, simple in quotes. So each Daemonsmith has total political power unto themselves. They can't be told what to do. They can agree to join in ventures and that kind of stuff, but they're fiercely independent unless they're dominated by another Daemonsmith, if you see what I mean, by another higher, more powerful demons, or a Daemonsmith who has either dirt on them or can persuade them to join their venture. All of them have individual sections within the city of Zharr-Naggrund that they have total control over. And so the laws are different, outside of the general laws of Hashut and the primacy of Dark Elves. Individual areas have different laws than the ones it's next to, if you see what I mean. So it's a hodgepodge of foibles and the cruelty of the Daemonsmith in charge of an individual section. They all have citadels and forges and strongholds and slave pens and that kind of stuff in their area, but also in other areas of the Darklands. So that most of them have two homes. They're middle class Chaos Dwarves. Yeah.
Do they claim expenses as well?
Yes, but only in the form of slaves.
Yeah, of course.
While the Chaos Dwarves, similar to their regular dwarven brethren, respect age and knowledge, they also have absolute merciless intolerance for weakness. So very much we see echoes of the Dark Elves.
Like Kral.
Yeah, like Dark Kral. Yeah.
No weakness around me, please.
Yeah.
No
Not today, yeah. The political influence that we were alluding to earlier is maintained only through strength, wealth, and the kind of individual raw sorceress might, making not only their lives, but their power struggles completely deadly at every turn. It's total social Darwinism for the Chaos Dwarves. In terms of their prowess in battle, Daemonsmiths are as terrifying as they are unpredictable, and are capable of calling upon kind of the earth itself to rend open and for lava and magma to spew everywhere. They can turn the air into the kind of ash and choking smoke associated with Zharr-Naggrund itself, and they can fan the flams. They can fan the flams of hatred.
Flanning.
They can fan the flames of hatred within their own followers. As we kind of mentioned, they're also master weaponsmiths and engineers. So again, we're seeing that concept of Alchemagi being drawn completely within the idea of demonsmiths, and contribute directly to war, either through the creation of war machines or helping others wield kind of the various types of black powder weapons we talked about, creation of arcane armor and heavy armor that they themselves wear, the creation of alchemical unguents and oils. So they do like Greek fire, that kind of notion. And they also bind demons directly into blades and create magical weapons usually for their own forces, but sometimes if they're involved in the kind of trade north or east. Mr. Chris.
What kind of demons? Any demon in particular? Any certain? Do they like love to stick a Cornish demon into a sword or something like
that?
From Cornwall.
Yes, is the short answer. They
Arr.
will hammer in any demon that they're able to raise will be hammered into.
They're not prejudiced.
No, they're not prejudiced.
Any demon.
They also, we'll talk a bit about that in a second, but they are averse to summoning demons to use in battle. So they don't summon the minions of the four gods to serve them in battle. They only summon them really either to bargain for information or to use them as ingredients in a construction. Mr. Chris.
Sounds sensible, because from what I remember, was it like a bloodstone or a demon stone that you threw on the ground and summoned a demon?
Yeah, that kind of notion.
And it was 50-50 where he was going to fucking turn on you.
Yeah.
And that was with a skilled demon person. Summoner.
And God forbid that you should like drop it by accident,
Yeah.
So the greatest of their number amongst the demonsmiths are the sorcerer-prophets, the high priests of Hashut. So their power, everything about the demonsmiths we've just talked about then, but taken to the next level. So they are routinely creating legendary feats of dark magic and high sorceress industry, including the creation of obsidian and basalt towers and fortresses within the Darklands and around the borders, creating ziggurats simply by drawing the shape up from the earth, which is then refined by their slaves. They have their own sets of iron towers scattered across the Darklands, which they use to draw in the winds of Dar to power their sorcery, and are usually associated with the largest and most dangerous of the steam-driven war engines that they either use to mine or within the kind of height of battle itself. In terms of their dealings with the demons, we talked there about how they view demons as an untrustworthy resource rather than an ally. They have created something called the Kadai Fireborn, which are enormous kind of mighty half demon, half fire elemental constructs, which serve the sorcerer-prophets and are bound to individual Chaos Dwarves, Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer-Prophets. And so what they did was the creation for these guys is they push demonic energy through a huge kind of
tube
crevasse full of magma. And then they bind the resulting tortured kind of demonic elemental spirit into a suit of, kind of magical, a cock ring, a suit of armor to serve as a kind of prison for this entity. These are, in fact, a unit you can field. So, in terms of art, here is a picture of what a Daemonsmith looks like. A cock ring, yeah. Whoa!
Sounds a little bit like the demons in Golden Compass. It's like their friendly, chummy demon sidekick.
Yeah. So that first image there is a sorcerer-prophet, or sorry, a demonsmith. Now, all sorcerer-prophets are demonsmiths. Not all demonsmiths are sorcerer-prophets. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
And here is a picture of the Kadai.
Here's his spunky sidekick.
Yeah.
The comic relief, the Jar Jar Binks of the Chaos Dwarfs. I think Chaos Dwarves are Jar Jar Binkses inherently, aren't they?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
He angry.
He angry. So that's the Kadai.
Get me out of this suit.
He has a chain beard. Or is that his neck? Is he got a chain neck?
Well, he's on fire. It's a fire elemental. It's a demonic fire elemental. He doesn't have a neck. He's just fire.
So that's a
you're
chain
projecting.
beard.
You're anthropomorphizing a fire demon.
Yes, yeah. I am, and I will stop.
Yeah.
Can you have different elementals? Could you have air, water, mud elementals, or are they generally all fire because of the Hashut link?
Yes. So Chaos Dwarves tend to only have fire elementals, but these are not fire elementals. These are half demonic, half elemental beings. Within the world of Warhammer, yes, you can have the 4 standard elementals raised and used in battle.
I imagine the Prophet would be pretty surprised if it channeled the winds of magic and then blasted them through, I think you said, like a kind of a lava valley, and then the other side turned out to be a frost elemental. I'd be like, how the fuck did that happen?
Did I say the words wrong? Did I?
Especially given that frost isn't an element, but yeah.
Well, you know what
a water elemental, yeah.
I have an elemental made out of jelly
condensation,
beans. How's that happened?
A condensation elemental, yeah.
Humidity elemental.
Humidity elemental. What's very close.
The muggy elemental.
Yeah. Yes, as I was trying to say there, and Chris highlighted earlier, there is a horrific price that the Demonsmiths have to pay for the raw power of magic coursing through their bodies. While it's showing weakness, while showing weakness invites death, and the kind of unrelenting demands of Hashut or Hashut's altar fires need to be constantly met. This great curse afflicts them to their very, quite literally, bones. Now, this is not a curse put upon them by Hashut. It's not a price they pay to Hashut. It's the price they pay for having dwarven physiology that pushes magic or pushing magic through a dwarf physiology. So it's their own body's defensive system against the warping power of magic that they're channeling. And so the curse of stone, because that's what happens, they slowly turn to stone, moves at a pace commensurate with the kind of amount of energy you're channeling, and indeed how desperate and or reckless you are when you're doing so. So these raising like full ziggurats in the space of an hour, you're gonna get some stone in your body rather than less dramatic acts over the course of weeks. There are really 4 stages for this curse. So, stage 1, their legs turn to stone, effectively leaving them unable to walk. And they must either be carried by their followers or, as we saw in a previous episode, a perambulating
mecha chairs.
There we go. So you'll see a lot of the Daemonsmiths will end up in kind of exo armor, magical alchemical exo armor that allows them to walk or walks on their behalf. At
Chaos,
stage 2,
mobile scooters.
yeah.
Chaos Dwarf mobile scooters. Yeah. Mobility scooters, sorry. Yeah.
Mobility scooters. At stage 2, really their lower body and the kind of bottom half of their torso turn to stone, increasing their toughness. But again, they're effectively unable to walk and move anything, below their belly button. Effectively, Mr. Ben.
Can they still consume food and water at this point? Because surely there's nowhere for it to go.
Yes, but it does. You end up pissing like one of these little gargoyles on the Trevi fountain.
I see. Right, it's just a hole.
Yeah. Yes, a hole. Sluice.
No control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Okay.
At stage 3, their arms then petrify as well, making them fully dependent on their followers to enact their will, and indeed now to perform their rituals. So they end up becoming this almost like a magical item used to channel the winds of magic through their own instructions to their followers who enact all the fiddly bits for the ritual. It's at this stage they really only retain the power to see and to speak. So my idea of hell.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
That sounds horrible.
At the final stage, their entire body becomes stone, and they are effectively transformed into a statue. They are no longer alive as we would understand it. Their petrified form kind of preserving their shape forever. The bodies of these Daemonsmiths are arrayed in grim rows along the roadways of Zharr-Naggrund as a kind of a statue in their honor of their own actual body. And they watch over the city's approach like kind of grim sentinels. And seeing the rows of them, you realize how fucked you are if you're a slave.
We are fucked.
Yeah.
We are F-U-C-K boned.
Yeah, we are boned.
Do they?
And so
what point do they die in that process? Is it kind of part of the way
their brain petrifies? I guess.
Stage 4.
It's stage 4, which is the final stage. So they are completely transformed into stone.
And is it a kind of gradual? I mean, we're calling it 4 stages. Does it kind of speed
from could take
one
decades.
into the other? Right,
it could
but
be
is it just uniform in terms of its progression?
Yes, it's a sliding scale. So these are arbitrary stage kind of deadlines we're putting in. See what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't wake up one morning and suddenly you're stage 3. You become that over time. Again, depending on how much magical energy you channel through your rocky body, your rock-like abs, because they are rocked. This really is seen as the kind of ultimate price of Hashut's blessing, which allowed magic to be flowed through their body rather than him blessing them with stone. And it's a destiny that's really kind of accepted by the most powerful of the Chaos Dwarves in exchange for total and absolute authority and sorcerous power and might over their own cultures. This is a constant problem, obviously, for the Chaos Dwarf sorcerers, but there are ways to prolong your life. And so there is an extremely rare alchemical substance that can avert the curse. And it's a liquefied magical potion known as the Blood of Hashut. And the Daemonsmiths who use this can either transfer the petrification that they're having onto their enemies. So they use it like a grenade, like we did the holy water or the blessings of Shalia in last episode's Choose Your Own Extravaganza. But they can also suffer the curse by proxy, which means they can imbue it not only to an enemy, but also to a follower. And so that element of the curse is drawn onto a follower. Yeah, it allows them to continue practicing sorcery.
Could they just like get a bag of slaves? Just be like, you have my disease.
They could, but the only ones mentioned in their lore are their enemies or their followers. I suppose slaves are enemies, so yes, we'll say yes. So it allows them to continue to practice sorcery for decades without facing the imminent certain death. But have no doubt, they will all turn to stone eventually. They're just prolonging their fate. It should be noted as well, I did want to just mention a couple of their magical spells. This idea of the curse, the curse of stone, they do have a number of spells that go under, it's the same effect, but different names. So they have the Curse of Hashut, or the Sorcerer's Curse is the name of a spell. And all that does is it turns your enemy to stone. It doesn't draw the curse from your body, but it inflicts a similar type of curse on your enemy.
Be like me.
Together
Pow.
with... yeah, do you want to be in my gang? No, wait, that's a bad example.
Can I just ask, like, if they're turning to stone, and presumably it is their own physiology that turns to stone, because I've been looking at this picture that you've put of the Demonsmith, and then you were talking about this row of petrified statues on the road into Zharr-Naggrund. Presumably their clothes don't turn to stone. And so is that row of statues just a row of naked Chaos Dwarves?
Yeah, but the cock's out. Yeah, I thought that was implied. No. No, they are clothed. Right. So you have this weird set of statues. That's a great question, actually, and I answered that assertively, but I don't know what the answer is.
They're clothed statues.
I mean, effectively, rocks out, cocks out. Am I right? Yeah, I don't know. Also, what position are they in?
Yeah.
Are they lying down? Because most of them probably die in their sleep. Or do they feel they're starting to turn to stone, so their followers put them in an amusing shape?
Yeah, strike a pose. I think we can all agree it's a fucking weird road. Like, whatever the answer is, it's really strange.
And I tell you what, on that lore bombshell, I think we'll draw the episode to a close.
Boom.
Wow.
So many questions.
So many naked dwarf-based questions.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a weird Chunks of Dar episode, but I'm here for it.
I like the idea of the houses. That's a very clever idea to, like you say, kind of patch the holes in the lore, but also
and kind of highlight the specializations. The kind of slavery is a big bit of their background, but not represented on the tabletop.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Could you have like in the same way that, like, I'm sure this is the case for other races, but the only one that's come into mind at the moment is the Eldari, because they have their different craft worlds, don't they? So you can have an army that's dedicated to one. Is that the case with the Chaos Dwarves then? Can you have a Chaos Dwarf army that is house something or other?
It would be homebrew. You could build a Chaos Dwarf house or build a Chaos Dwarf army and just say it's from this house.
House
but
Crown.
there's no kind of sub-faction rules for Chaos Dwarves in the old world. I think there is for the recently released Chaos Dwarves of Age of Sigmar, but I haven't looked at any of that. Yeah.
Interesting. What house would you be, Kral, other than House Kral?
So you've got the slavers, you've got the magic users, and what was the other one?
So you had the Alchemagi of House Cash. You had the Enslavers of House Ashodar, and you had the Immortals of House Hargan or Kargan.
The Immortals, exactly. The basically the Marines,
Hargan,
right? The kind of elite, the elite army. Yeah, those guys. Not the slavers. I would be the Alchemagi as well. They sound fun. The tinkerers, and they made the cool stuff. But I'm no slaving for Chris. No. Don't swing that way. I'm an ethical Chaos Dwarf.
Well, I mean, that's left me firmly speechless.
Because you and I know, Dar, that's not the case.
That's it. And looking at Kral, that's never been the case.
Yeah. I invented slavery, on the contrary. Yeah.
His hangover and the state he found himself when he woke this morning hold testament to that very fact. Exactly. And on that non-lore bombshell, let's close it out. All right, that's all from us. Thank you so much for listening. If you want more Old World content, just hit the Patreon link in the description and sign up today to listen to our bonus show, Chunks of Dar. And if you'd like a taste of the show, the first 5 episodes are now free of charge, so you can just jump on Patreon or search Chunks of Dar on Spotify to listen today. Details and imagery for the topics we've discussed in the show can be found on our website at layingdownthelore.com, where we also have all our previous episodes, release schedules, and merch. And you can join our Discord for free by hitting the link in the description and coming and telling us what you think of Kral's choice of Chaos Dwarf House. And that he actually is more of a fan of the slavers. We'll be back again soon, displaying just how little Kral and I know. And until then, cheerio.
Ta-ra, loves, ta-ra.
Love you, bye.